Hello, happy Sunday to everybody. It's Jill Lancet. I hope you've had a great weekend. Yeah. I don't mind telling you it's cold in beautiful downtown Greystanes today and tonight and yesterday. But look, we're going to make 3 cards. And now I've done most of it. As per, I don't want you sitting here, watching how I've done this. I don't know how to edit, so yeah, that's why I do a lot of the work first, because I don't know how to edit, but one day I might get there. Anyway, look, what I want to show you is 3 cards. We're using some designer series paper. That is the star of the show, but it might not be the beautiful, colourful, bright and all the rest of it designer series paper you're thinking of. So let's go and see what I mean. Okay, now I've got these here. Now the first one, I've pretty much done most of it. I just want to show you the papers that I'm using today. Oops. I'm using these gorgeous, gorgeous papers from Botanical Textures. I hope that's not too glary. But I'll put all the details below. Hang on, I just dropped something. Of course, I just dropped something. Okay, so we're going to look at these, and you might be thinking, oh, gee, that one's a bit dark. I love these sort of sketchy papers where they're almost like pen and ink sketches. You can do a lot with them. You can leave them plain. You can add a pop of colour to that black and white scheme, which is always, always dramatic and stunning. But I want to show you to take these just a little bit further. And I guess the only way to show you is to show you. So let's get going. Okay, the first one is using that paper, that very dark, very black paper. Now, I've written myself a little note just in case I forgot, but I sorted it out. Just bear with me. So this is what the paper looks like. Now, I have just simply taken the Granny Apple Green watercolour pencil, and all I've done is just colour. I didn't bother with these very dark leaves that are well and truly in the background. I've only dealt with these ones that are very bright and kind of semi-shaded. And look, I've just about finished this card. So I just want to show you how I got there. It's as simple as this. Like literally, preschool kids can do this. But I just wanted to show you how this transforms this paper. And I'm just simply colouring. Look, if you go over the lines, it won't matter. Literally will not matter. But I could have done this any colour, paired it with the same colour matte or a tone thereof. Now I want to show you how these shaded ones turn out. They're very muted. And you've got these white ones that will give you that contrast in this green. This is one green, and we've got several shades of it in this gorgeous designer series paper. And I'm not even pressing hard. These pencils are very soft. They colour beautifully. And that's all I'm doing. This is the simplest way. I think that's the beautiful Claire de Lune playing in the background. Such a gorgeous piece of music. That music combined with colouring is my idea of a peaceful afternoon/evening. Like, it doesn't get more relaxing than this for me. How do you relax when you're crafting? What do you have? A little ritual. I always have music playing. It helps me with my creativity. I'm finished. So what I did was I matted it on some Granny Apple Green, a very thin border. I've matted that again onto some black. This was in my little Greetings for All ephemera pack. Already cut out, already printed. So, yep, I just went through there, found one that I really liked. I've got some of this gorgeous, gorgeous silver twine, but before I do that, I'm going to splatter this with some Wink of Stella. I think it just needs something. I have put some of those beautiful rhinestone gems on there. I think that's the ones. Now, I'm just going to pop the brush part. I'm hoping you can see that. I'm assuming you can see that. Just going to pop the brush part into the lid. You can see where I've got Wink of Stella all over the lid. But yeah, I like to do this way. I call it kind of controlled splatter because I can put this directly over where I want it. And yeah, depending how much Wink of Stella you have. Yeah, oh my gosh, I think we need some more there. And sometimes I will go in different directions just to, you know, change it up a bit. I think that's plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Now I want to give you a gander at that. I hope you can see that beautiful Wink of Stella against that black background. So this is just a simple thank you card. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take some Seal Plus, and on the back here, I'm just going to run a line of Seal Plus. Now, if I do that long enough, it doesn't matter where I put my beautiful silver thread, it's going to catch. So let's see. And I'm just going to wind this haphazardly, just like that. Catch that in there. Now you don't want to pull that too tight because it'll actually bow your card. I've made a bow. I made a double bow, and all it needs is to be put on there and then trimmed. So it's double the thread, double the thickness, and I think I'll put it on like that. So I need a glue dot, and it just so happens I've got some here. So I'm going to pop that into the glue dot, and then I'm going to squeeze that off and squeeze the glue dot around to the back, just like that. You can't see it from the front, and I'm going to pop that there like that, at a bit of an angle, and I might just trim those off ever so slightly. And there we go. That's going on a card base now, so I can use liquid glue, or I can use some Seal Plus, but I like liquid glue, so I'm going to use that. There won't be anything inside these cards. I think sometimes the more meaningful bit of the card is what you write on the inside. So look at that beautiful, really dark background that, you know, is a bit, sometimes you think, oh, crikey, that's dark. That is really, really dark. But we've lifted that with the green. I've spattered on some Wink of Stella, and I've highlighted it with my gems and my silver thread. So what do you think about that? I think that's I think that's lovely. That was quick. It was easy to do. And it required one coloured pencil. So we'll move on to card number 2, which is sort of similar along the lines of that last card. But this time I've coloured it with the blends. Now I've chosen Pretty Peacock, so I'll just finish off colouring this. And I just used the bullet tip end. And the shading is already in here. And that's the beauty of this, because, yeah, you don't have to worry about the shading. And if you go over the lines, it doesn't matter because it's a really sketchy drawing. So, yeah. And the other thing I did was I just put in a few extra little dots here and there of the Pretty Peacock, just to finish this off. And it doesn't matter if you don't colour in absolutely perfectly, because you know what? It's a handmade card. And I'm not even colouring per se, I'm just sort of drawing lines. And the beauty of the blends or the alcohol markers is they dry back smooth, and if they don't, it looks like it's part of that artistic, yeah. So I'm just popping little dots here and there, just using that point. Yep, that's all I'm doing. That's done. This was another one from the what have I done with that? So this was another greeting from that little set, the ephemera set. I quite liked that. And I'm sure I had a little strip I was going to put. Let me think, that might have been it. It could have been it. I just wanted to anchor the sentiment with something. So I think I'll do that. I think I will just pop that on there. Now that is very, very skinny. So as you can see, this was a scrap that I'd already punched something out, but nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever know that that was there. So I'll pop a bit of glue around that, and just a bit there, a little bit there, and then I'll go around the edge. The papers in this this particular pack are all black and white, but don't be thrown by that, because you can colour them if you want, you can leave them if you want, and you'll still end up with a stunning card. So there's that one. And I'm going to just pop this. I need to trim this off a bit, I think. This is just a scrap where I've trimmed it off somewhere. I just wanted to anchor that. So I might just snip that off about there. See if that's wide enough now. Not really. Right, now I've drawn a little pencil line, because I can't cut straight, to save my life. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glue, just a little bead. Now look, you don't have to go crazy with the glue, okay? This must be on a loop, this Clair de Lune. I don't know why. I'll just have a look at that in about 2 seconds flat. So I want to see where I'm going to put this. Sorry for your loss. I think we'll put this about here. Now, there is the rule of thirds. So about a third of the way down is what they call a sweet spot. It's more pleasing to the eye. I'm going to pop this up onto dimensionals. Got a few left here. this so that it's across this little piece that we've put on there that was a scrap that would have been thrown out. Yeah, you know, think about, would I use that, or would that be stressful or wasteful to keep it? So just hold your horses, honey, while I just pop this on here. So I want it about there. I've just got that sitting on there for the minute. I'm just going to press that down. And then I've coloured in a piece of white baker's twine with the dark pretty peacock blend. So I've got a beautiful bow now. I can just pop that there like that. Have that coming over if I want. Or I can actually put it on there like that. I think I'll have it going under there. That way it's, you know, a little bit more structured in as far as it's not going to flop around everywhere. So again, with the glue dot, I'm going to take that off there, pinch that around to the back. That's all I do. Just pinch that around to the back. And then I'm going to tuck that in there, just into that little corner there. And there we go. We've got this beautiful little bow, little soft bow. That's going straight onto our card base. So I'm going to pop a bit of liquid glue. This is another sympathy card that will go into my stash for those sad times when, you know, you need one and you may not necessarily be in the mood to make a card. So I like to keep some of these on hand. And that's as easy as that is. Now I'm just going to hold that up. What have I got that's sticky on here? Just bear with me for 2 secs. I'm going to get my embossing buddy and just give that a light rub over. That should take the stickiness out of that, because that's insane making. Okay, so what do you think about that? I think that's another lovely card, a lovely quick card, one for my stash that I'll need probably in the near future. Now this afternoon I've got a cup of tea. I just felt like tea today. Okay, now I'm going to pop that back up there. Now the third one in this very quick card making series is pretty much along those lines, but with a difference, okay? It's also going to be a sympathy card. Now, you know, I could die cut out layers and all of that sort of palaver, but if I want a card in a hurry, what I've done here is I have just put my little die down, and with a very thin pencil, I have just gone around the inside of that. Okay, now I can rub that out later, but there's my die. I have another ephemera piece. This one is Thinking of You. I've got some black baker's twine that I've already gone ahead and made the bow with. It's a double bow. And I'm just going to show you what we're going to do. Now, I've used the pencils, I've used the blends. Now I'm going to use the pencils with the blender pen. Now, if you've not seen the blender pens or how they work, there's a special liquid inside there. You get 3 in a packet, and there's 1 tip on each end. So you can use them with different colours. Like if I was using red, I'd use one end and then I'd use green with the other end if I was colouring something. So I'm going to show you a really lovely way of kind of making it a soft watercolour look. Okay, so I can see my, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see my circle that I've traced just around there. So if you wanted to take this one step further, you could make a frame and glue that on later. But look, this is going to look just as good, trust me. So what I'm doing with my watercolor pencil, I have the old olive one, and I'm going to go in a bit heavy down the bottom here. And when I say heavy, I just mean, you know, I'm going to press a little bit harder. And I'm going to do that on all of these leaves. Just like that. And I'm only colouring the ones inside the circle. Now when you get to the smaller ones, you don't need a lot of colour, okay? So I hope you like Claire de Lune. This is about the third time it's played. I don't know. I must have pressed repeat or something. But it's such lovely, calming, relaxing music. You couldn't possibly complain, surely. But if you want to complain, go ahead, put it in the comments. I probably won't read it, but there you go. Because I love this music. Okay, so I'm stopping at the edge where that circle is. I'll probably find a better one to show you, but anyway. I'm just lightly doing this one, just lightly doing this one. And I'll be able to erase that. I'll be able to rub that out when I'm finished here. And you might be thinking, why are you bothering? Well, indeed, you don't have to bother to colour these. You can leave them black and white and you would still have a gorgeous card. You really would. So, but I just thought I'd give you a few options on what you can do with these black and white papers. People think that they're limited then to just, you know, black and white, but yeah, you're not. And if you love colouring, this is a lovely, lovely, relaxing thing to do. So just a few more to go. And I'm not colouring the whole leaf, as you can see. I'm just colouring in towards the bottom where the gorgeous, clever artists have already put that shading. So how clever are they? We're talking professional artists here that have done these gorgeous, gorgeous designer series papers. And I think that's about it. So all I've done is the bottom end of the leaves. Now I'm going to take this, and you can actually wipe this off on your scrap paper if it gets too full of colour. So I'm just going to pull that colour up. Just pulling it up just like that, and it spreads. It gets lighter as it goes up. If you get too much on it, just clean it off. I'll stop in a minute and I'll show you what we've got so far, okay? So I'm just pulling that colour, that little bit of colour that's in the bottom there, I'm just pulling it up. Just pulling it up like that and completing the leaf. And yeah, I think this is a lovely technique. It's one that, you know, like if you're going on holidays, you could take your blender pen, your watercolour pencils, if you had some images already stamped or something like that, and that's all you'd need to carry would be, you know, your little packet of watercolour pencils and one blender pen. Now I'm actually going to hold that up so that you can see the difference, I hope. Blended, not blended. So I'm just going to continue on just because it's so lovely, lovely to do. You don't have to be an artist to do this. And I've coloured that so lightly that, yeah, you're just going to get that faint green. But the blender pen sort of smooths it out. It kind of melts the colour and then drags it along. But don't forget to stop at the edge, at our pencil line. I hope I didn't. No, good. So far so good. Nearly finished. So, you know, if you've got half an hour and you need a card, you know, you've got this covered with minimal supplies, and yep, you're out the door and you've got a card. Okay, now that's all done. So if I go, give that a minute to dry, because we did actually put some liquid from that on there. Now I could either draw a circle with my Sharpie pen if I really wanted that to be noticed, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to very gently erase the pencil line now, and yeah, yeah, just finish this card. So bear with me, not bear, bear, just hang on a tick. And yeah, we've got another quick card. Quick card. Oops. And there we go. Look, it's hardly even noticeable, but it's there. I think that's lovely. I think it is. Hang on, I just saw another bit of pencil line. Now that is going to go on our black mat. And I'm just going to pop a bit of liquid glue on that. Just a little bit. You don't need a ton of glue. Now I think that's mat 1 in black and mat 2 in the designer series paper. This is mat 1 and that is mat 2. I think this is mat, let me just see. This is mat 2 and that's, I don't know. I'll try and put it in the details below. Right, let's get on with this. Now, where is my little message? Now, look how gorgeous this little message is. It's so delicate, and it's just going to fit in the middle of that green area. And I'm going to pop that up. I might need some little ones. Hang on. What have we got here? Some little ones. Now, card making does not have to be like so complicated that you are going to stress out when you even think about making a card. You know, if you're just starting out, you can make incredibly beautiful cards with minimal supplies. And with the ephemera packs, you don't even have to have stamp sentiments or sentiment stamps. however you want to say that. Oops, did I go over that? Just a teeny little bit. Luckily, you can pull those up a bit. And I've got some little edge bits cut, so that can go right on there. Okay, so all we did was trace around our die. We've got a basic circle shape. We've got this gorgeous little ephemera message here. And I'm going to peel all those off. Oops, she says. Oops. Where's my take your pick? Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. Oh, I've pulled the whole thing off. Crikey. That's because it was a bit too small. Hang on. What have I done? All right, let's abandon that one and we'll get another one. Oh, crikey. It's always fun and games here. I think it was just a little bit too small to be left on its own. But I have got another little bit. There we go. We'll put that bit on there like that. And I'll get that off. Gently. Right. Oh, sorry. Sorry if you were dozing off there. So I'm going to put this here in the middle of our gorgeous imaginary circle. Draws the eye into that greeting. And I'm just going to pop this black bow just underneath there. So where are my glue dots? Another glue dot for another bow. And yep, just folding that over like that. I'm just going to pop that down there like that. Now, thinking of you, you know, is a fairly generic greeting. It could be for a lot of occasions, but in this instance, it is a sympathy card. And as I said, it's what goes inside, I think, in these kind of occasions. It's what you write inside that will be the memorable bit. So we'll just pop that on there. I hope I've given you a few ideas now. And if you've got this beautiful paper and you were thinking, oh, I can't remember why I bought it, have a go at these. They are so easy, and they do give you some really stunning results. Let me get all of this stuff out of the way and let me know what you think. Tell me which one is your favourite. I mean, I know that they're not all for the same kind of occasion. Now, I keep my pencils in a little tin that I've had for years. So I'm just going to pop those back in there. I usually keep one of those in there with them so that I've always got one. And by one of those, I mean the blending pen. And that is our 3 cards. Please let me know what you think. So we've coloured one in with a very minimal amount of pencil, watercolour pencil, and blended it with the blending pen as opposed to a blender, as opposed to a blend. This is a blending pen with blending solution in it. Then it's straight coloured pencil, watercolour pencil on this very dark background. I hope you can see the wink of Stella on that. I really hope you can. That took that very dark piece to not so dark. And then this one I did colour with the blends, the alcohol blends, probably the quickest method. Although that was pretty quick considering there was a lot of leaves. I've just matted them with, you know, the same colour cardstock. In this case, it's just black and white. What do you think about that? 3 very, very simple cards, basically the same design, 1 panel of designer series paper, and then what you do with that can make it very, very different. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please pop over to my online store if you'd like to see anything. JillLancet.stampinup.net, that is in Australia. If you'd like to ask any questions, tilly2145@gmail.com. Likewise, if you'd like a free copy of the matte templates, I will send this out to you, but I do need your email address to send it to. So, yep, like, subscribe and share. That's Sunday over, guys, for another week. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed hearing Claire de Lune 50 times on repeat. Stay safe. Look, stay safe. It's winter. We've got flu. We've got COVID around. You've got your common cold, which we still can't find a cure for. But, yeah, look, stay safe, stay warm, stay happy. And above all, stay kind. All you need to do to be kind is to smile at somebody. And you'll find it's probably contagious. So have a great week, guys. I'll see you all on Thursday. Do take care. Hooray. Bye for now.